Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sound Goblin Gaming Poke Mondays as we return to Elden Ring to investigate the DLC, the new region unlocked, the lands between. I'm, of course, Shiv.
I am the Krampus.
I'm Hunter Green.
And I have finally defeated Shiv in a children's card game and hereby banish him to the Shadow Realm.
Oh, no.
Oh!
Well, I guess we can advance to the Shadow Realm. We should probably go to the entrance to the Shadow Realm.
Hey, cool. That means I get to be the main character now.
No, you get back in your cage.
I mean, like a couple months to say that line.
I'll banish to the Shadow Realm. Fine, I'll go.
I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good.
You weren't here before.
Huh. Were you guided here by kindly Mikula?
No, I was banished for this hard game.
And like you, I was guided by faith along his honorable path. Touch the withered arm, and you too will be transported to the realm of shadow where Mikula the Kind now dwells. My compatriots are there already. Like us, they have heard kindly Mikula's call. If you can find them, they are certain to lend you aid.
So what I'm hearing is,
Touch the
come on.
withered arm and travel to the realm. I will not be far behind.
Do it.
You speak too much. Okay. So what I'm hearing is this arm is coated in a toxin that gives you very vivid hallucinations. Perfect for any Pokemon trainer to touch. We are, after all, only 10 years old.
Give or take a few hundred years or something. I don't know. I literally don't know.
No, we're Ash.
Do you know?
We're 10 years old.
Do you know? I just realized
Very
something.
big for a 10-year-old.
There was a limitation we never did, as far as I'm aware.
Oh.
How come you have more than 4 moves?
I'm better than a Pokemon. I'm not a Pokemon.
I was gonna say, there's no limit on how many moves a person
I'm
can
a
know.
trainer, not a Pokemon.
He's the trainer, not the Pokemon. If one of his summons had more than 4 moves, then that would be a problem.
I would say otherwise. Going to the Safari Zone as a trainer, you still only have 4 moves.
Yeah, this is as far
Because
as...
Ash was bad at the
Safari Zone
Safari.
is specifically a limited area. Has its own
Also,
mechanics.
that's not strictly true, considering you can use basically everything in your inventory. That's way more than 4 moves.
Yeah. Alright, so this is
That is the item command?
This is the Shadowlands, or whatever they want to call it.
The Shadow Realm, a done chunk that was sort of over there, but is now over here.
Why does that look like the backdrop to Hogwarts Champions? Or Hogwarts Legacy?
They call it the Shadow Realm, map-wise. It has its own map. It's not as dark as you'd think for a place called the Shadow Realms.
No. The main feature is that thing, the Shadow Tree.
Yep. That is the Shadow Tree. We will see it a lot because it is huge, much like the Erdtree.
Yeah.
And visible from many, many places. And they do some pretty stellar jobs of actually having it show up as like a big scenery piece as you move through areas.
Yeah.
They do a very good job in like environmental design, so you'll come to areas and see it. We also missed. So a couple things that we'll see as we... that's just regular.
Yeah.
A couple things to note about the Shadow Realm is that our actual levels mean a lot less here. Because we basically have a... Well, enemies take a lot less damage here until we get Shadow Blessing.
Yep. It has its own scaling, and we will get into that probably when we actually grab the item.
And there were a lot of people that were butthurt about this.
Yep. It has its own set of scaling, both for ourselves and for our summons.
Yeah. Lore-wise, so in order to get into the Shadow Realm, because it was locked away by America, you basically have to be rejected by the Erdtree by having some type of taint, usually from an outer god of some sort or another. Like,
Heyo.
like contracting Scarlet Rot or something.
Delicious lump of flesh.
I think we can
Or
try
beat
this
it.
a couple times.
I wonder
Yeah.
which tastes better, that lump of flesh
Yeah, we
or
got
the
better.
mold.
And also, as is kind of hinted at by the NPC that pretty much spelled it out, this DLC very much deals with what Mikola is doing currently.
Very much.
Yep.
Which is in contrast to everything else in Elden Ring, which happened about 10,000 years ago.
I'm actually surprised it didn't do the... I don't know if the game plays the trailer or not.
Oddly enough, the game doesn't play the trailer.
Okay, that's what I thought. It's like
The trailer exists outside of the game completely, even though it is actually kind of
there
important.
he is.
Yeah. Eat moon. Okay, don't eat moon.
Oh, no,
Fine.
he don't.
Oh no, the very agile guy with beast claws dodged.
How dare. Go away, Wolverine. As you can see, despite being very high level, like 3 or 4 hits and I'm just dead.
Yeah.
Oh, I also had 500,000 runes on me because last thing we did was
Had.
the Elden Beast. That's fine,
Yeah.
that's not on the ground.
They're on the ground. Pick them up.
Yep.
Another thing about this area is we can summon the horse.
Yep.
Eh. Koraidon looking very weird.
It's a messed up Mudsdale.
Can't stop himself. His NPC.
Goddamn trainers always using high potions and stuff. Or yeah, super potions.
Where are my souls?
There. Fine.
Try not to lose things.
Million. Or 500,000 that you could probably easily put into leveling, actually.
Oh, certainly.
Was he taunting you?
No, he was
No,
trying
he
to
was trying to
represent
drink
the
because
cloud.
an NPC only has one heal.
Ah,
Yeah. They always do that.
that was bullshit. That sword was all the way through his body before he swung at you.
High frames.
Calm down, Logan. Like, Loger.
Really different. Also, apparently something far more fierce than a Wolverine. He's a pastry.
And there you go. Yep, guard break.
Ride by, get our souls this time, so matters. We have 500,000 souls.
Yeah. Ah. Clever tactic. Ducky.
Clever tactic of ducking.
Yes.
We're not looking too good in our first foray into the Shadow Realm. Comes me beaten up by a homeless man in the woods.
I would argue that this man's home is the woods, because who's going to tell him it's not?
Angry cosplayer.
A Pokemaniac, if you will.
Ah, clever defense up in the tree.
You can't catch me.
So I'm going to assume you have no idea what's in your Wondrous Physics.
Ow. What's that?
I'm going to assume you have no idea what's in your Wondrous Physics flask.
I don't recall. It has been a while since one of these characters.
Yeah. Very out of practice.
Actually very sad, because the other character I had that I was messing around to do some DLC stuff before we got into this playthrough, I had zero problems with this guy.
Was the air character, using a big fuck-off shield?
No.
Oh, okay.
No shield at all.
Yeah, because I had no problem with this guy either, but I also, can just block him and stab him with a spear. Actually, what weapons were you using?
At that point? Plasma point?
Yeah, that might be why too. Slightly out of range.
Tech bite. Still out of range. There we go.
Okay, you're just gonna walk back and forth.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah. Something happened there.
I
Okay,
I
so
didn't deserve that. Goodbye, Lugor.
so now that we're done with our first guy, a homeless man with gloves.
No, wait, that's the wrong theme.
Yeah.
That was sad. Let's not talk about that.
You should go get some shadow fragments.
I should go get some shadow fragments. That's why I'm going this way. We'll do generic enemies, Mesmer soldiers.
Yep.
You'll see them kind of everywhere. Also, Mesmer soldiers have dogs imbued with Mesmer's flame.
Yep. Mesmer flame is this like flame with a black-hued background thing, which is why it looks like that. So basically, Mesmer was tasked with basically purging all of the other major faction from this area. right before America decided, fuck this place in general, and cut the entire area off from the lands between. Because the Shadow Realm is actually just a chunk of the lands between that's been, like, purged from it, effectively. It actually fits on the map. And it is partially why, if you go to, like, certain edges of land between, it looks like the map, stuff just kind of stops.
Yep. So that weapon we just got from him is actually a very interesting weapon if you're doing a strength faith build.
Yep.
As it has an additional effect that when you do guard counters, either an actual the whole you block and then immediately do attack off of it, it does a big extra holy explosion. Basically a like 3-hit or 2 or 3 hit counter effect. And if
Here we
If
go.
you have it wholly imbued, it also does even more damage.
Yep. And here, it talks about the Shadow Tree this tutorial that is really important and you shouldn't skip.
Yep. Yeah, so, and yes, it may look like it says Skadu fragments, but it's actually Old English.
Yes, that is just pronounced Shadow.
So, shadow fragments found across the realm of shadow. We consume these at sites of grace to increase our, to bolster our Shadow Tree blessing. Shadow Tree blessing bolsters our abilities and deal and negate damage. It has no influence outside the realm of shadow. Go down.
Yep. It's fine, they're not that tough. Considering how easily you're beating the crap out of them without any Shadow Tree fragments.
They do scale based on area, like most everything else.
Yeah, that's
and
true,
you
too.
see them everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
They're a pretty ubiquitous. They effectively replace the various knights that exist all across
And
the regular area. With
Yeah.
multiple soldiers everywhere.
yeah, or various foot soldiers in their case.
Yeah.
That was one tough dog.
Alright. That wasn't what I meant to do. I was pressing the wrong button.
Ah, yes, that thing has a weapon arm.
Yes, it does.
Good thing
Yeah,
I was
there's a
stake
stake
nearby.
outside the church.
Yeah.
Meant to cast a spell, spun my staff around in front of me. You an asshole.
Wizard.
This is actually one of the saddest things to me in this DLC. So there's a lot of verticality in there. There's a lot of waterfalls.
No caves?
There are some caves, but
Okay.
based on the number of caves there are, I always want to check behind each one, and the vast majority of them do not have multiple caves.
Yeah.
See, I can forgive that as long as some do.
There are some.
Also, this DLC has its own crafting items.
Yeah.
That's right.
it should be noted, Mesmer soldiers are actually legitimately a cut above normal soldiers.
Yeah. Honestly, one of the most annoying things they have is their health.
I'll be. Despite playing this DLC, that's the most I've actually seen them do in combat.
Yeah.
Granted, my method of combat generally consists of staying back and hitting them with lightning bolts from the sky, so.
Yeah, well.
Fair.
Or alternatively, poking them from behind a shield. It should also be noted that Shiv has roughly 15 times the health that I normally have. Dog refuses. Woof. And our prize. This crafting item. Ah, fireflies.
Black fireflies.
Yep.
I was expecting you idiots to have more.
No, this campus is pretty barren from what I remember. There's fireflies. There's legitimately a decent amount of fireflies.
Yeah, they're fireflies.
They're actually probably one of the slightly more important crafting ingredients.
Oh. Wonder when that got added to Twitch.
What?
Automod caught a spam message and basically gave me an option to either allow or deny it.
Oh, there you go.
That is neat.
Yep. It was someone advertising adult website.
Yoga.
Ah.
Okay, then we have our first Shadow Tree blessing.
Yep. Soon them do. Yep. Much like
We've not gotten any Revered Spirit Ash, which boosts our ashes.
yeah, those of you boost our spirit ashes. Yeah, you got. Pretty sure it's 80 for into soft cap.
I think it is, but I believe we actually have higher than that.
Oh, we may have the source seal on.
We have 80.
Oh, we have 80. Yeah, we have the source seal on, I think. Or scar seal. Yeah. The source seal. Okay, yeah. I forget which one's +3, which one's +5, but yeah, that makes sense. It's...
I mean, we could dump 5 more points in Int and then just stop using it. Should also reduce the damage you take.
We could, but our stats right now actually let us use Smith script weapons. This is not a great reason to.
It does put us up to Faith 11.
Yeah.
Wow, they're back again. I'm just gonna outright ban you.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I wouldn't have given them the benefit of the doubt the first time.
Yeah.
So, when I clicked, there was a click the allow or deny thing.
Ah.
I clicked deny and it immediately removed it entirely from the field, so I couldn't even see their name before I could or to ban them. I did not make that mistake a second time. Hey Chev, real quickly, can you whisper that guy? I want to know what that dancer's glam is.
And they will generally appear in pretty much the same manner they did right now, out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, you help, little buddy.
Those are basically this version's land of the Wandering Nobles.
Yep.
They are horn-sent something or other. Give me a minute. I'm trying to remember exactly what they're called.
So I think in my other playthrough, I never
First
actually just
blade.
went straight down to the road, so I don't think I ever got attacked by that guy.
I
mean,
never got attacked by him either,
he's
actually,
right
now
there.
you mentioned it. Yeah, he is just right there, sitting on that pillar.
Excuse me, that's an archway.
Technically correct.
He is the
That's
best type of person.
yeah.
Interrelated, yes, they are horn-sent cursed blades. Interrelated note, I hate them.
Gee, I can't imagine why.
I use spears targeting his ass, that was a grab attack, and sometimes they will hit around shields.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
So wiggly.
They are very wiggly. Also looks like he annoyingly aggroes before you actually get within targeting range of him. I wanted to throw a moon at him while he's still up there.
They do have a decent aggro radius. Combined with the fact they tend to actually hide pretty well in the areas where they are. And sometimes they're just out and out fucking around a corner. Yeah. Well, Loretta's master is very much sure. If you lock onto it, that will hit.
Come on down.
There he goes.
Wizard!
Yep.
That's just right
That is
out
the
there. Full 1,500 souls.
Yep, that is the correct way of dealing with them.
Even if it does take an entire bar of mana to do it.
Well, we also
Yep.
threw 2 moons, that didn't matter.
Yeah, he threw 2 moves that did nothing. Most of his mana was actually, I think, spent on the
And
moves. I think
I'm
Loretta's
pretty
mastery.
sure, short of actually using Meteorite and Stell, moons are most expensive.
Yeah.
Good reason. We get like truck and increase damage.
Yep.
Map of Gravesite Plains. So yeah, the first area we're in, the Gravesite Plains.
Now we get a better sense of scale.
Yep.
It's also worth noting.
That first map covers like 2/3 of the goddamn area.
Yeah. There's a lot of verticality, so this map is less
Deceptive.
useful than you think in certain areas.
Yeah. It's a collector's item that at least makes gives you some reference for where sites of grace are in comparison to each other, but isn't the most useful thing when it comes to actual navigation. Yeah. And our first revered spirit ash, which generally are in locations like this one.
Yeah. We'll usually have like a altar of some sort here.
Yeah.
And that will boost our spirit levels.
That guy has no head.
There are
That particular one has no head, but that's not 100% a thing.
yeah. There are 20 levels of both Shadow Blessing and this is another thing, that these guys aren't the most obvious guys in the world. But the ones holding Hawk have Shadow Juice.
Oh,
Can have shadow tree
Can
fragments.
have-
They can also just be holding spots.
There's actually like 2 pot designs. One has a very slight like shiny effect to it, which is that one. Those
Yeah, I was gonna
guys
say, I saw that.
also, when you enter the area, will start running, and will eventually just disappear.
so they're like the scarabs.
Effectively.
Yeah. They are actually more or less the scarabs of this DLC, because it's like I think like 1 or 2 scarabs. They're not common in DLC at all.
No. Yeah, you basically have to notice them within a group of enemies where they don't really stand out significantly.
It's probably easier on first.
Oh.
Yeah, those Houndooms were fucking harsh.
Scorched runes.
Get the grace on their side before I start messing around here.
Yeah.
That's Old Kentucky Furnace Golem. He's going to be there for a while.
Yeah, he is. I mean, yeah, just probably want to get some. Probably want to get some Shadow Tree fragments before fighting him. Not because he's hard or we need anything else, but just don't want to take a half fucking hour killing him.
Correct. They have way too much health.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. We'll see them kind of everywhere. They all drop various things. This one is probably the most interesting one in the DLC.
Yeah, they all drop crystal tears. So,
Yeah.
but they are the DLC crystal tears are all unique and different. Yeah.
The reason why people like this one so much is that he drops a crystal tier that basically gives you true blocking.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
nice.
so basically, if you block with perfect-ish timing, it takes less stamina. I think it is
You
significantly.
take like 0 damage.
Yeah.
It is literally
Okay.
like Sekiro blocking.
Oh, okay.
So if you do perfect block timing, it basically does very little stamina and 0 health.
Yeah.
Nice.
And lasts like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it lasts like 5 minutes. It will last for most boss fights.
Yeah. Also, the other effect it has is that when you do perfect blocks, it basically will increase the damage as your counterattack by like what's like 10 or 20% every time you do it, up to like 3 times.
Ooh.
Until you do a counterattack, so you get like just massive counterattacks by doing perfect blocks. Throwing rocks.
I will say, yep. I will say, by the way, in spite what earlier gameplay might suggest, this is actually a pretty significant step down from what you would be doing right before going into the DLC, as in order to unlock it, you have to basically beat Moog and Radon.
Yes, that is correct. You have to beat Moog and Radon to unlock the DLC.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, I wasn't going to expect going from that into similar type of content for the entirety of the DLC. I expect them to ramp it up.
Well, that's the funny part. Is actually kind of a ramp down for a little bit. Probably more than a little bit, actually.
No, I mean for like, obviously it's not going to be as severe at this point, but them to ratchet up the difficulty as we go through more of the DLC.
Watch out, it's probably a Mimic.
Not a movie. I don't even think there's treasure. There's a trap chest in this one.
No, there isn't. Blade of Mercy.
But Mercy doesn't use a blade.
There are also technically talismans in this DLC.
Yes. Blade of Mercy is a talisman.
Yep.
Do kind of wish those put all the DLC talismans in one place. Yeah. Raise attack power after each critical hit.
There is, I don't know if you have the setting turned on, but there is a mark stuff as new.
Mark something. Yeah.
And there is an actual, like, menu for everything new you've picked up. That's, like, to the left of all your stuff or something like that. I keep forgetting it exists. Let's see. Horn Sentinel employed this to honorably end the suffering of a compatriot. After claiming numerous lives, the stagger is now broken, but has acquired a spectral aura. This is by no means the first time we will be hearing of Horn Scent. And yeah, as you can imagine, these are Hornset runes post-Mesmer.
Yep. Yeah, Mesmer was sent to wipe out the Hornset.
Yeah. And in fairness, they deserve it.
I mean, you're not wrong, but everyone kind of deserves it.
Yeah. Is probably everything in the runes. I think that was everything of use actually in the runes. Let me take a look at the map real fast. There was a hefty. Did you get the hefty crack pot?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's what that is.
Pots are key items.
They're key items. Yeah, I don't see them.
They're not the new thing, so.
Yeah, it's in the southern. Let's see. From location goes south of Scorch Ruins, head north and take the first right to the higher ground. Alongside a group of shadows, you will find a body containing this item.
South of the ruins?
It's in the southern part of the ruins. It's north of. There's a ghost on the ground, basically. One of the mushroom ghosts.
In the ruins? Oh,
It's probably that.
love that.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, that's a new
Those are
pot
all-
DLC.
Yep, those are new pots, and those are also kind of important. By kind of, I mean it will save us time later.
Hmm.
The mouse could do it.
These are gray birds. You're going to see a shit ton of them as well. They really like gray birds in this DLC for whatever reason.
Great birds are also constructs?
Yes, they are actually constructs. You can throw crystal darts at them to confuse them for shits and giggles. They're not that hard.
They're really not that tough. Ignore most of them, because there is a...
Look, these worm things.
I'm gonna say it's the graveyard of the wacky, wavy.
Inflated worm
Whatever.
thing.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of those things. I don't even know what the fuck they're called.
Boss store, boss store, boss store.
Yeah. So basically there are mausoleums in the DLC that they are entirely just an NPC boss fight.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, they're called blue worms because apparently nothing is original, or spirit eels, because apparently, what? Okay, they're called blue worms on one page, and when you click on them, they're called spirit eels on another, and blue worms. I'm going to go with spirit eel, as that sounds like an actual name they would give it.
Yeah. They function similar to jellyfish.
Yeah,
in that
effectively.
They tend to be non-aggro.
Except when they're
They'll
not.
get angry when you piss them off, but sometimes they are just aggro ones in an area.
Yeah. They also have a chance of dropping Glovewort. Both Grave and Ghost, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, and 9.
your jump attack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Got me drinking.
I really wish you could roll out of the drink animation. Just can't seem to heal. Especially of how often enemies in this DLC, or in this game in general, like to attack the moment you try and actually heal.
Yeah. I did find him most dangerous when he's in his two-handed mode.
Yeah, he doesn't do the jump attack.
That one.
Oh, okay. I can't.
If you catch... Yeah, you just have to catch him somewhere early.
Damn. Close.
I don't know if you had enough time, but at the end of those guard breaks, or the fastest thing you can do out of one of those guard breaks is actually roll.
Let's try.
But yeah, he may have just been swinging too fast.
Shoot me. You know, thankfully, always with this.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I did remember that right. So there's 20 levels to the Shadow Tree Fragments, but only 10 levels to the Revered Spirit Ash. Basically, they both work in a similar way in the sense that they increase your damage dealt and reduce your damage taken, but only while in the Shadow.
Makes sense.
Or your summons, in the case of Revered Spirit Ash, obviously.
Yeah.
They The Shadow Tree fragments end up at, let's see, it was a little bit over 2 times, I believe it was. Yeah. No, yeah. 2.05 times damage and 0.487 times done and 0.487 times damage taken. A lot. They are actually front-loaded more. This is a change from how they originally were, which was pretty linear scaling and ending at like ×2 and 50% respectively.
Remind me next time I stare at a Grace. Check what's actually in my flask.
Check what's actually what?
In my flask.
Ah.
Yeah.
Hey, Shiv. Next time you're at a Grace?
I'm gonna remind me at a Grace.
No, you said remind you the next time that you're at a Grace.
Yeah, I'm not at a Grace yet. Reminding me at it. No.
I'm reminding you that the next time you're at a Grace, you should do that.
This is the problem with the English language not having pronounceable commas.
Yep.
Chameleons. Not having pronounceable chameleons. Yes.
They come and go.
They come and go.
I can't be mad because I also was going to make that joke.
You can't fall for it 3 times.
Right, I actually want to try.
What?
I want to find out if he actually gets slammed to the ground if a hammer hit.
No.
A lot of regular size enemies do.
A lot of them do. He is wearing a set with a decent chunk of poise. Okay, definitely stagger them. Yeah. My kind of tactic. He's not dead yet. Oh no, he is. Okay. I saw the 90 pixel. For that, we get a lot of stuff.
We get his sword and all of his gear.
Yep.
The sword's Art of War is that like blade slice attack he did. It's also I'm not going to use it.
No, but we can demo.
New items. It's also, I think, one of the highest, if not the highest, physical negation weapons in the game.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it has like 89% physical
89%
negation.
physical damage block if you actually use it to guard, which is massive for an actual weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like guard boost similar to the level 23 shield we're actually using. It is an interesting weapon to use if you want to do just like two-hand all the time and just use a shield to block. Or use the weapon itself to block rather than actually using like a shield. It actually produces a ton of physical damage.
And unlike in Dark Souls 1 and 2, you don't have to worry about durability.
Nope.
Durability did also exist in Dark Souls 3, you just didn't have to worry about it. Oh, no. It's durability existed in Dark Souls 3, and that's probably the first time any veteran of Dark Souls 3 has heard about it. It's what's it again. And to cross a Mikola.
Yep. Carved words coalesce. I've been here. First, the flesh of my body.
Yep. Crosses of Mikola will always have shadow tree fragments.
Fie, another. Treading the heels of Mikola. Then, as that woman would surely say, we are in our purposes well aligned. But understand, your kind are not forgiven. The Erdtree is my people's enemy. By Marika long betrayed. Set aflame. I believe Mikola's apologies when he says our delivery will come, but never will I see your kind as worthy.
Rude.
And yet my oath I cannot
He is a
overlook.
horn
If
Yeah,
Mikola
he is a
who
horn-set.
would seek,
There's
comrade,
more to it than that, but we'll
allow
get
me to
into
give you
when we
this.
run to other things that
These
matter.
are the sites of the crosses I found. I urge you, follow after Mikola. As long as you abide by his footfalls, you will be no enemy to me.
We got a map!
Yay.
Yep. A map to these crosses, which is important in the sense that they all have shadow tree fragments, so it's actually kind of a...
Yep. So we're
Fair
the
enough.
one right there, kind of in the middle, is where we are right now. If we go up to that big archway that we can see, there's another one over there, and there's a cross in
like way over there on the other side of the
that
bridge.
castle over there. That castle.
Yeah. Yeah, the smaller one.
That castle, not that castle,
Yeah.
and not that one we can't see. It's over there behind the wall.
And here's Lita again.
Also,
Or not Lita.
nothing.
Or no, that's not Lita.
Yeah,
That's
this is not Lita.
Lady Leda spoke of you. You're that tarnished. Guided here by kindly Mikola. Won't we all? I am Freya. I once fought
Freya, yeah.
alongside General Radahn. In battle, you can be sure I'll hold my own. Oh, another thing. Did you speak to our dour little friend? If you've yet to do so, have him give you a map of the cross's whereabouts. You'll find more of them dotted about these lands. They are Mikola the Kind's footprints.
Yeah.
If
So
you yet
Mikola's
to do
companions
so,
all
soon
come
you-
from a bunch of different factions.
Yeah, obviously he is a horn set.
Yeah.
Freya is
She's a
follower
red main.
She's a red main.
Yeah.
Follower.
Follower of Dawn. Did you touch the Grace?
No.
No.
Also do the thing. Look at Chief Flask.
Ah, yes.
Yes. Also, you. Mixed Wonders Physics.
We have sim reduce. That's fine. Heal over time. And,
Yeah. And they get
the bubble shield.
Yeah, the bubble shield, yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Through this giant arc, because sure, why not?
Leda, who we've already met, is Needle Knight Leda.
Yeah, Neo Knight led it.
She is a follower of Nicola, obviously.
Yep.
Oh, he's got a knife. Self-defense. Think any of these guys are pot guys? I don't remember where all the pot guys are. I remember like 2 pot guys are.
There's not another one right there. I have the map open. There is a Shadow Tree fragment very close.
You don't say.
Is there? Wait, hold on. I don't think there is.
I don't see one.
I abandoned here, part of the flesh of my body. So part of the, which we'll touch on relatively soon, part of the whole idea of these Nicola's crosses is as Nicola traversed the Shadow Realm, he left bits and pieces of himself that he basically cast off as he went through.
Effectively to part ways with his heritage.
Yeah.
You must be the Tarnished.
Some of these
I am
crosses will be more
Ansvar.
significant.
Formerly in service to Lord Moog,
This is
but
Ansvar,
now,
he was
like
a
you,
Silver
another
Lord.
soul guided
Yep.
by kindly Mikola. I'm hardly the steady hand I once was. My fighting days are far behind me, which is why I have chosen to dedicate myself to investigation, to discern tender Mikola's ultimate purpose. I'd rather not volunteer service to a new master unless I know that I can be of use. May I request a service of you? 6 crosses, identical to this one, have been discovered
Lot
in
more
these
than that.
lands. They are
Yes,
akin
yes,
to
there
tender
are.
Mikola's footprints, or gravestones, which mark what he's left behind. If you discover any more crosses, be certain to tell me. I presume you, too, are keen to know just what kind Mikola is doing here.
No, I'm mostly keen to hear your flavor text.
You
So
discover
coming back
any
to
more
him after
crosses,
discovering 8 more
be
crosses
certain to
doesn't
tell
get us
me.
anything but more
I
dialogue with him.
presume you, too, are keen to know just what
Turns out those aren't actually footprints, but really the equivalent of chicken bones left over from his dinners.
And this here is a sad boy.
Hello
Yep.
there. Together, we work. Together, for Mikola the Kind. Many things we have found.
So he sells stuff. We're not going to buy this note because I can already tell you. I'll talk
Yeah.
about sealed spirits when we find them anyways.
Yeah. As you can see, he actually sells every single type of ammo in unlimited supply.
Yep.
Basic ammo, but still.
What he sells will also... Does it expand when you find his suppliers, or you just get the cookbook strong?
I think you
Cookbooks.
you just get the cookbook, I think.
Many things. Goodbye.
But yeah. That's more.
Yeah, that is more.
That's a side of Christ.
It is. Hey, since you're here, you know what you should do?
I already checked my files, thank you.
I was gonna say, use those Erdtree blessings.
Shadow Tree.
Look at that. That's a... Yeah, Shadow Tree. Look at
Yeah.
that. That's
What?
a fancy place.
Yep, that's a legacy dungeon.
That's Dracula's castle.
No. The Shadow Castle you see behind is a separate castle.
Yes.
No, the Shadow Castle is Dracula's castle, is what I'm saying.
Separate legacy dungeon.
Different legacy dungeons.
Only technically connected.
One you literally find at the beginning of the DLC, the other one is the last one in the DLC. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fancy looking legacy dungeon, but we have places to go first.
Yep. Because Elden Ring is an open world game with Dark Souls combat. People forget this. Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I was waiting for it.
The DLC does like to throw smithing stones and, to a lesser extent, clubboard at you. Mainly smithing stones.
I have a feeling it's because you... Well, I was about to say you can enter this at relatively ending point, but no, you can't.
Yeah, you do have to do Radon
Moog, yeah.
Moog. But that is still before you technically can buy every smithing stone in the game.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, the character I was going through, the DLC with, did not actually, I had gotten to Fair Missoula with, so...
Yeah, you have to go to Fair Missoula to get the glass smithing stones.
Yeah.
All right.
Then yeah, they come off. That one comes off the Godskin duo.
Yep. So this is a new upper area. You see, we're up on this ridge, effectively.
Yep. And it also introduces us to our first encounter with a new group.
Yep.
They seem like lovely people. Until you backstabbed them, literally.
You're making that look harder than it actually is.
Yeah, they should die in like 2 or 3 hits. They're actually not that tough.
They're not that tough.
Yeah, these are the...
These are blood fiends.
Yeah, I knew blood was in the name.
Yeah.
Dog.
Yep.
Yeah, couple dogs.
Red dogs.
Yep. I don't think it's these ones, but some of them actually do have horns, small horns growing out of their heads. I think it's a specific area, though.
Horn scent dogs.
Effectively.
One hell of a belt you got there, buddy.
They also vomit blood.
Yep.
Don't we all?
There's actually 2 different weapons.
That's me?
You got little pokey claw or the big hammers. The big meat hammers. There's grave birds up there because this is this DLC and grave birds exist.
They are generally overlooking various places of the dead. In this case, they are above that mausoleum that we were at earlier. Lightning!
Yeah, giant gold lightning ring.
Yep.
There are enemies, but this giant bird is lightning ring. Here is gold lightning ring.
As was the case in the base game, there's unique crafting ingredients that are around lightning. I believe yellow and red fulgur bloom, respectively.
Yeah, we have the folder bloom.
Yeah. And there's more portraits.
Yep,
Yay!
painter shack.
Yep. Incursion painting.
Don't do it, Paul.
No one to blame but yourself.
I told it.
Yep.
Fair.
Yep.
Fair.
Red bear. A church.
There's a church.
We can just walk down there.
We can. Parkour. Nope, we're good.
No. No. Could totally the second you go on the upper level, you were fine. Blessed Blue Dew Talisman. A talisman that I basically constantly have equipped.
Yeah, I think that's the one we may consider replacing America's Source Seal with.
Yeah.
Because that, if I remember correctly, is going to be a talisman that... where's just... new tab. Just constantly restores our FP.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's a slow regen. It's not useful on bosses, but when you're exploring an open world,
It is very nice.
yeah.
That is down where we're going.
Both Seeker set and a Pata.
And a Pata.
Stabby thing. Yeah, there it is. It is a fist weapon.
Interesting weapon, but not anything we're going to be using.
Yeah. It is not one of the new weapons like the Beast Claw, which I think we
Which we do have and
mentioned.
could use.
Yeah. I think we mentioned briefly and didn't really go over the fact that it's actually a new weapon type.
Yes. The Beast Claws are a new weapon type. There are 2 Beast Claws in the game.
Yeah. There are 2 Beast Claws, meaning they're still more represented than the least represented weapon type in the DLC.
They also, if you dual wield, become, or if you are power stance.
Yeah. They are separated by fists, but by the sense that fists are more punchy and these are more just go fucking apeshit.
Yep. Is there one that only has a single weapon in the
Yes.
DLC?
Yes, there is. It is the stupidest category you could possibly imagine. We'll get to it when we get to it.
I'm trying to think what it might be. Because I know there's multiple Triley arts. Is there only one light greatsword?
That's a good question. That wasn't the one I was thinking about. There might actually only be one light greatsword.
Because there's Milady, which we'll get eventually.
Aethys Moon!
No, there are actually 3.
Yeah, I saw you, asshole.
Oh, that makes sense.
What's that?
There are 3, it's just, one you get off a remembrance from a boss, and the other is, you get at the end of the DLC, basically.
I'm trying to think what else could have only have one weapon.
Thrusting shields, hand-to-hand arts. Both have 2. Beast Claws has 2. As a matter of fact, most of the new weapons have like 2 or 3, with the exception of the perfume bottles. But we'll get to them later. Yeah, there's only one throwing blade.
Oh,
The Smith's Dagger, it is the only one. It is its own new category.
fair enough. I wouldn't think it would be its own thing, because there are multiple Smith's weapons. I guess they won't be in their proper weapon category. It's weird
Well,
they didn't just put that as part of the dagger.
Well, it doesn't have any actual dagger attacks. The light is also a throwing attack. Which is not normal for Smith's grip weapons. Smith's grip weapons throw as the heavy. That's literally their gimmick. But we'll get to them when we get to what is probably the most interesting non-legacy dungeons in this DLC.
The various forges.
Yeah. Prospect Town, the main thing around here. Church, all that stuff, painting. That's underneath. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's that. Oh, there's a forager bird around here. We haven't talked to him. Around here, I mean, up on this plane, but it's on the southern side, somewhere east of Prospect Town. Basically.
There's the scatter tree bird.
Yep. Okay, here comes the west of Prospect Town. Okay.
I ran up the hill trying to get this spot out here.
Yeah, there's a pot guy up there. I'm about to ask a stupid question. You don't put anything away.
What's that?
There's a bell bearing. And there's a bell bearing in this area. It's actually one of the more important bell bearings. Well, important being a relative term. One of the more useful bell bearings. But yeah, it is basically on the west. Yeah. Wall and Ravine in Prospect Town in the Shadowlands. Basically, it's up on the left side of the, or west side of Prospect Town. Right there. Yeah, so, in this expansion, all the bell bearings are basically suspended in pots on cliff sides.
Clever. Yep, scratch your butt.
Oh, I have arrows equipped.
Yeah, it's on the left. It should be on the left trigger. Or on the... yeah. Yeah, it should be on L2. Yeah.
Hey, buddy. Consecutive rocks.
Yep.
The string seller's bell bearing. Guess what the string seller's bell bearing looks like?
Do they sell pots?
Nope. No
Nope.
string.
Damn, never would have guessed.
Yep.
You said there was a forger?
Yeah, it's on the east side of Prospect Town. Or it's not on the east side of Prospect. It's east of Prospect Town on the southern side, basically. Along-ish the southern cliff.
We just missed it.
Basically, yeah. Because, again, he's along the southern cliff. There we got that.
Assuming he wasn't over this way.
No. Again, the southern cliff. You're on the northern cliff. Basically, directly south of where you were, actually, from the Spirit Ash.
This is the southern cliff.
Yeah.
Oh, is he all the way on the end?
No, he's, open the map. He is up those steps to the west of it. If you're wondering why I'm having to guide him like this, these guys are actually kind of hard to find.
There he is.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah. Mainly because they're on the ground like that.
Yeah.
I remember these assholes.
Yeah, Caesar comes.
Oh, he's fine. Yeah. Oh, he's fine.
Yes. There are various. God, I don't remember their actual names anymore. Various cum bugs throughout this place.
Oh, Disciples of Rot.
Yeah. They give us cookbooks.
Yep.
They are part of the Forager Brood. If Moore starts talking more about his foragers, these are the things that actually get him his stuff.
Yeah. You can also tell, unlike other Disciples of Rot, they don't attack you.
Yeah, they do not immediately try and kill me.
But yeah. The cookbooks they give out basically give better versions of the stat resist food, or help you make better versions of the various pickled livers, or various livers rather. Specifically, theirs are pickled livers. Basically, they've learned to increase their potency by fermenting them, or, you know, rotting them.
Delicious, delicious raw. Anything on top of any of these buildings?
Almost certainly. As far as, like, around the corners of it, I don't think so, but there's... Yeah, there's two main prizes here. The first one's probably through that door. Should we know this is a place where we can summon?
Yep.
Yep, we see the icon.
Yeah.
There's no reason to summon against trash, though.
No.
Yep.
I more point this out because everyone listening, we were playing the seamless co-op, and part of our settings was basically summon the fuck
Summon
anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
So good.
Because of how it breaks the world boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah, there sure are a lot of them.
That's a bunch of problems solved.
That was fun.
Also, I think these ones are walking. That is more efficient, though. Gee, doesn't that look familiar? Remember the Blood Fiends Workshop?
Could be anyone.
Yeah, lore-wise, these guys were like 3 seconds to solve what the hell they were about. I mean, literally, Blood Fiends. And they start stabbing the sky like Moog did.
They got a Blood Fiends on, which is the big smashy arm
Yep.
they have. Which got updated in one of the updates to not be as broken.
Oh, there was something stupid and broken about it.
It was able to apply bleed like ridiculously fast.
Ah, okay. A mimic!
The other got it.
So, if you remember, the base game has a set of heirlooms that all give +5 to a stat.
Yep.
There was never an arcade one.
Now there
Well,
is.
that's funny.
I didn't even realize there wasn't an arcade one until I got this and went, wait, this didn't exist yet?
If I remember correctly, the Blood Fiend's arm, when you do like charged R2s, it also does poison.
Oh.
And then I think because it did the weird poison effect, if I remember correctly, there was a weapon art you could put on it and would basically trigger the poison effect when all the hits the weapon art. If I'm recalling correctly, so it basically just did like use weapon art, immediately poison enemy, or immediately or not poison, bleed, immediately bleed enemies. So there's two things we want to get in here.
Yeah, those two are everything basically.
Okay, they are.
Yeah.
And I think that's everything up on this ridge.
Yeah, that's everything that isn't like random ass crafting ingredients or.
Yeah, I think that's all the stuff to do up on this whole little.
Yeah. Forager Cookbook, Greater Potentate's Cookbook, stuff at the church,
Yep.
Artist Shack. You got the Shadow Tree Fragment, you got the Spear Dash, Revered Spear Dash. Yeah, that's everything up here, basically. Except for one thing. But I don't... I mean, it doesn't matter, but it is a neat thing, but it's not nighttime.
Oh, a nighttime encounter?
Not encounter, but thing.
I mean, we can make it nighttime.
Yeah, if you want to do that and then start traveling towards where the Forager Brood was, you'll see it.
Matter if it's raining.
No, it shouldn't. Yeah, there it is.
Oh.
Yeah, these only appear at night.
Oh, that was it. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so there are larval tears that only appear at night in the DLC, basically.
Okay. A nice way to give you more larval tears for respect with the, like, 80 some odd new weapons they give you and all sorts of other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not going to do this place yet, because we have plenty of other side places we can go first.
Yep. So I'm assuming north at this point.
Yep. Let's go see a dragon.
A dragon?
And a friend.
I know what you're talking about. That's just a pile of bones.
I mean, we're gonna go get a new friend first. This is ostensibly a Pokemon playthrough.
Ah, that's true enough.
So we will prioritize getting on new Pokemon.
Yep. Which means we're going to a dungeon.
Yep. A dungeon where we get to see one of the first true nightmares in the DLC.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Also...
Yep. That's what that painting is.
That's what that
so
painting
that
is.
one's called...
Serpent Crushing.
If I remember, the second painting that we run into is literally end of game in order to solve.
Another 100% physical negation shield.
Yep.
With the serpent crest on it.
Yep. Decent guard boost, actually.
Decent guard boost,
Phased.
decent fire as well.
Yeah.
We'll probably end up actually switching to the shield that we get inside this place when we do it. That's another 100% physical block shield. With a lot of magic art. it makes sense why it has a lot of magic art when we get there.
Yeah. And yes. Bellarat Jail. Bellarat is the name of the first Legacy Dungeons, Bellarat. Yeah. So all the jails are along the same theme, and I absolutely hate all of them. They are not hard in the least, and I didn't really have much trouble beating them.
But they're all kind of annoying.
They're kind of annoying because, well, that. And
because they're the place that you most often see one of the nightmarish things in this game.
Yes. Also, it loves ambushes. Absolutely loves ambushes.
They do love ambushes. They also, at least a couple of them have, like, big, long side paths where you basically have to loop back on places. And, like, their layouts can get
yeah, they're easily the most complicated layouts of the non-legacy dungeons. Short of the silly gimmick puzzle dungeons like the trapped treasure chest maze dungeon.
Yeah. The trapped treasure chest dungeon, the silent hill dungeon, that's like 3 versions of the same dungeon layered on top of each other. Like, those ones are very interesting.
Yeah.
Trapped treasure chest one is more annoying. The silent hill dungeon's interesting. Especially if them like putting enemy corpses in areas you've already like would have went through and killed enemies to throw you off. Frozen maggots.
Yeah, dungeons. Unlike in the original game, the dungeons in the DLC are all pretty worthwhile. The dungeons in the original, in the base game, are kind of hit or miss. The two we mentioned actually are ironically probably some of the better ones.
Love how innocuous this first one is.
Yeah.
So, like, you go in. So far,
you go in.
There's been nothing special. It's just been a bunch of like shadow dudes.
Yeah. Oh, here's this mushroom ghost. If you're wondering why I call them mushroom ghosts, it's because every single one of them are surrounded by mushrooms. Until this was pointed out to me, I didn't even realize it.
Yeah, I can see them there barely.
Yeah, they have weird spectral mushrooms along them.
Please, please, for the love of God, don't shove me into a jar.
No promises.
Well, that's not creepy at all.
No, certainly not.
I'm sure it's fine.
Nothing ominous about this room. Certainly nothing ominous about this room.
Did any of you guys see it yet?
I mean, I know exactly where it is.
I know where it is.
Yeah.
Is it off to the left there?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What do you think?
Some sort of unfortunate tumor man.
Yep.
So let's do a few more of them before I explain. Shiv is making the platform here seem more difficult than it actually is. I'm pretty sure you can drop most of these, or it's just a short hop. Yeah.
Here, we want to go down to that one.
Yeah,
That
yes.
upper platform.
Pretty sure you can drop that. Yeah, that sure is a dead shadow guy. Now that, on the other hand.
Yep. I was thinking that was one of the pots too, but I don't think that is one of the pots over there. I think it's just that one over there.
This first dungeon is pretty tame, honestly. I don't think they do more than like one at a time. Maybe something like that. Also, quite predictably, there's living jars here.
Yep.
Happy Crackpot.
Yeah. Well. Awful flesh amalgamation thing. So yeah, this was a very common Hornset practice, where they would take their criminals and cut them up and shove them into jars with people known as shamans, which in the Japanese, they're called Miko in the Japanese, just a more clarification. Because basically, shamans have the unique property to meld and merge with people.
Gross.
Yeah, so basically they throw a bunch of people inside the pots and turn into these things.
Yep.
See if we can bait out some of their attacks.
Yeah.
Come on. That's a grab.
Yeah. That's it diving at you.
And the other main thing they do is they will spit blood at you.
Yeah. That one is happens a lot actually, so we'll see it without much issue. Yeah, that. Yep.
God, if ever there was a Pokemon that wished it knew self-destruct.
Yep.
Oh no!
Whee! Look, a bunch of giant jars of blind quarters. Yeah, this dungeon is designed to make you paranoid. Look, a big one. I mean, there's a sideways jar next to an item that could re-trap anymore.
Yeah, that one's empty.
Yeah.
That one's empty to throw you off guard.
Yep.
Because it is very uncommon for them to be in sideways jars.
Okay, so that ladder behind you can technically be used, but it also breaks like everything else. Yeah, you don't actually jump on it, you like walk up it, and it breaks pretty much from everything that furniture breaks from. You don't need any of the ladders technically in these areas, they just happen to exist. Yeah. Using them is actually very hard because you basically get one jump. And and there's another one. I also don't have poise for anything.
Yeah, they're not super tough. It's mostly they do a lot of ambushing.
And they are the ick.
What's that?
And they are the ick.
Yes, they are. They are in fact the ick. The one thing they didn't do that I always expected them to do when I was in here was to have them like drop out of some of these hanging pots.
Yeah, they don't do that. Alright, let's see.
Airplane!
Okay, so slight question on the ick monsters.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So they're obviously setting up like, okay, this is where the jar people come from.
That's half of it actually, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the living jars are also a side effect of this, but that wasn't the main point.
Well, I was gonna ask, are the living jars, like the ones we've met up in the creature consciousness, or is it like the living jars are separate creatures that just happen to have the ick monsters inside?
I think I don't know if the living jars are actually like the exact same thing as the ick monsters or their own separate thing.
The general consensus is their own separate thing.
Yeah.
But basically, current running idea that most people have is that these horrible ink monsters are horrible ink monsters. The like warrior jars and stuff we interacted with before are basically Erdtree's version of them. Because the actual intent for the warrior jars is to eat warriors and then bring the jars full of warrior remains to the Erdtree roots to use as sustenance and as part of Erdtree burial.
As part of our tree burial, yeah.
Which is also why, like, all the various minor Erdtrees that you run across, where you usually have to like fight a, Erdtree avatar, that kind of thing, tend to have a ton of pots around them, because the idea is that the warrior jars basically eat dead warriors, then go to those trees for Erdtree burial. So it's basically a perversion of this practice.
God.
Also, elevators.
Yep.
You say perversion of this practice like this practice is something,
It's technically a perversion of this practice. This practice is monstrous and awful.
monstrous and awful, but not random. They actually have a goal. Well, had a goal. That's a warrior jar. That's the great jar. An upgrade to the jar is a helmet.
You wear it on your head, it improves the
Damage of pots. All pots. Which we know that, yeah. Basically, the old one doesn't improve hefty pots, but this
one does.
A bigger number anyways, so.
Think there's anything else up here besides the great jar? Way back down.
I'm trying to figure out what else is left in this dungeon that isn't unimportant nonsense. There seems to be... Have we gotten the Greater Potentate's Cookbook 11?
Yes.
Okay, then I think we've gotten everything in this dungeon that isn't off the boss.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the boss is right there.
Oh, there's like 3 hefty crack pots in this dungeon, so I'm not entirely sure how many of those we've gotten.
We have 4 altogether.
Okay, I think we got all of them, because I think the only one we got outside was the one in the first runes. Yeah. Okay, and this guy will demonstrate a very important principle when it comes to boss fighting in this DLC.
The stimming from the cons, or as the community is loving to dub him, Yoda.
Yep.
See, I played Soul Calibur 5 when he was a guest character. I know how terrifying fighting Yoda can be.
So, much like a lot of bosses in this DLC, although he didn't do it this time, Yoda has absolutely no time for your shit and will gladly ambush you immediately after you enter the fog wall.
He won't do
What dick?
the very first time. All the bosses in the DLC use their standard thing the first time. After that, they will aggravate because they are effectively already started after that point.
Ah.
This will become most apparent when we start doing attempts
On Bale.
Because the first time you run the Bale's Arena, he's not that aggro, and then every other time is hell.
Well, he's not there, and there's no fog wall when you first run to his arena, so that's
So he does his whole entrance thing, and then every other time he's already there.
Yeah.
Ons isn't very tough, but he is very maneuverable and teleports. So
Yes. Right, Steak America. Also, I'll remind you, this is a Pokemon playthrough, so...
that's true. I should summon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember, we have to be the very best, like no one apparently ever was.
Hunt for fecal feast.
Scat sommelier.
Ow, please stop teleporting. Please stop teleporting. Yes, get him, boy. Oh, here's a grab.
Yes, yes.
Yes, bully this whole thing.
There we go.
Good job, mister.
And the reward is Demi-Human Swordsman Yosh. Not to be confused with Demi-Human Swordmaster Ons, who we just fought.
Yes, we get a demi-human swordman as a summon.
So we beat Yoda and we got Yaddle. Got it.
Yep.
Probably go level him up at some point so we can use him.
Yep.
Let me actually go sit. I think we can do another one.
Pretty sure, yeah. I think we started at like 270k. I don't think it goes that quickly. Yeah.
We are going to get intelligence up to 80 so we can swap out the amulet for the FP regen.
Yep.
Yeah, 'cause that's just potency, that's reduced casting time, that's increased damage. Okay, yeah, so we'll replace America's Sword Seal. Or Scar Seal. America Seal.
Yeah.
With the FP amulet.
That thing.
We will effectively increase our HP by taking
By taking that off.
Yeah.
and getting FP regen.
I don't see a dragon. There's just a pile of bones.
Perfectly
Certainly nothing else
normal
here.
Pile of bones.
So I don't know.
Bone dragon. Sorry, I interrupted someone.
That's okay. My idea doesn't work because something hasn't appeared yet. There we go. Oh, there it is. Okay. Like most dragons, if you go to a cliff nearby and summon
The Great Dragon Slayer Lieutenant.
yeah, and summon Latenna, you can't just straight up let her kill it.
One of the interesting things about these ghosts, there's a couple. They actually have some new attacks that other dragons didn't have.
Yep.
Oh.
So,
That's all about it.
I also don't remember the wing swings from other dragons, but I also didn't do too much close range fighting of dragons on foot.
there.
Oh, he was about to do one of
No.
they have a new, like, kind of range stage charge forward this time.
A great katana!
Just didn't want to run it all. Got him.
No.
Yeah, they do like a 3 or 4 hit kind of charge forward rush attack. These guys also when they get to half health will start doing a Ghost Flame thing where just pours ghost flame out of their chest and fills the area with ghost flame.
Ugh.
At a certain point, the words ghost flame starts to lose meaning. If it ever had any.
Ghost flame flames mightily over the ghosts. Soon you will become a ghost.
Too far away.
Slightly too far. Remember, this thing does charge. I do think it adds range when you charge it. Still a little bit too far.
Don't worry, Lieutenant. I'll get your prey over here.
Yeah. Thought that one was wicked.
Lieutenant, kill.
Remember, you have those.
Lieutenant, walk.
I mean, her legs are long.
See, the problem is that all the badges you had to make your Pokemon obey you, they only worked in the previous region. Now all your Pokemon are widely disobedient.
Oh, there it goes.
Bobby goes attack.
That's a wall.
Let me rampage.
Yep.
Rampage!
The second I reposition, you jump up so you get right against the wall again.
Yep.
That's fair.
You probably just hit it from here. All it's doing that.
I want the head.
It does, but there you go. Take that, cliffside.
Alright. Our list of things that are weak to rock type increases.
Flying is weak to rock.
Yep.
It's also weak to cliff.
They will drop Dragon Rest. They also drop Ancient Dragon Systems.
Some are ancient dragons, so that probably got like a
Ancient dragons, maybe.
I forget how many I have left, but there were still some.
It's not a ton. We have.
Yep. Also, we picked up a new weapon of a new weapon category, the Great Katana.
It's a great katana.
Tis a bigger katana.
Yep.
Oh, right, there was an error. Nearby side of grace for fighting this dragon.
The weird one is this. Like a second attack is a stab in the combo.
Which is unusual.
They have their own kind of.
Yeah.
Overhead stance weapon art. I don't know if you can put unsheath in them, and she's still maybe limited to regular katanas.
I don't know either. Sometimes they're grave birds, sometimes they're just statues of grave birds.
He's a Greybird armor.
Yep. It's down there. So that's a fly man,
That is indeed a fly.
and that's a Greater Potentate's Cook 7. Or 10. Right, what did I say?
Number.
VII.
There are a lot of Great Potentate's cookbooks. They are basically the hefty pot recipes.
Ah, okay.
Flyman, by the way, used to be people.
Yep.
You know, I think there's a lot of they used to be people going around here. If I remember correctly, that's kind of a thing for Elden Ring. It's like they used to be people, and then shit happened. Wild and various flavors of shit, but Also reminds me of the game Siren a little. It also had people who were turned into flies.
Delicious, delicious fly people.
I guess they're delicious if you're like a frog or something. If you turned into frog people, but your neighbors turned into fly people.
Oh, dangerous. Stop it. Stop it. Fly. Giant pile of bodies. The ailment tells me.
Yep.
Raises resistance to the last ailment suffered.
Yeah.
So, flymen are hornset, or were hornset rather, that succumb to an illness that transforms them into man-flies.
As opposed to a teleporter accident. In terms
As opposed to being like shoved in a jar.
a lot of that going around.
Yep.
Just want my spirit ash.
Man-flies love them ambushes. Okay, so looking at this map, did you hit the site of Grace?
Nope.
This is technically the closest site of Grace for fighting the Black Flame Dragon.
Better ashes.
Ah, Furnace Visions. And the cookbook for the first spot. Furnace Visions are extremely rare material. They are basically only like drops on the map, or items you find on the map, and drops that come off of furnace golems, which are bosses that are dead when you kill them and do not come back.
Okay.
Thankfully.
They are also a pain in the ass. And to be more annoying, the most effective weapon against them is actually furnace bots.
Yeah.
The best weapon you can use for fighting them is actually a thing that requires a drop from them. That is also a limited resource.
A limited resource, yeah.
Another thing about furnace golems that isn't really a important, like, oh, furnace golem thing. Because they wanted the furnace golems to be just these massive things that you kind of just notice out. Like, there's a bunch of furnace golems in the map. This is one wheel you can see right now. But furnace golems remain loaded for a massive draw distance, unlike most other enemies in the game. So, like, when a furnace golem exists, if you have line of sight of one, you can pretty much see it by where it is. Unlike a lot of other enemies. They also don't immediately drop to a as low of a poly texture model as other enemies do. Get to far ranges.
Okay, so as far as the grave site planes are concerned, you have a furnace golem, obviously.
Yeah.
A stupid weapon.
Stupid weapon.
A stupid weapon.
Where at?
Open up the map, because you're not that far from it. You see that rock southeast of where you are? On the southern side of the river? Yeah, that one?
There?
Yeah, there. There.
I'll be right back.
Yep.
Yep.
Gonna do that policy for that little.
Yeah.
Gazebo.
And dread gazebo.
Yeah.
And also Inquisitor.
Oh yeah, the
Also-
backhand blade.
Yep. Also some Hornsent Inquisitors.
Yep. They're fine for now, though. Getting away from all these enemies and I'll equip the backhand blades, which are a fun weapon. But they're fairly strong weapon. They're just deck space, so we're not going to be using them.
Yeah.
So this is the backhand blade, obviously because you hold the backhand.
And they can be dual-wielded for maximum weavage.
And their weapon art, which is a like quick sidestep dash with a like sidestep. We actually do have the minimum stats for it. It only has 13 dex. We could theoretically just put a different Astral War on this and actually use it. I don't know if they can get
Yeah, we could make it into a like
a cold
frost
magic
or
weapon.
yeah.
Would actually be a viable weapon for us to use. However, I have my sights set on a more mutant weapon, in my opinion. That will basically get before we actually do any of the legacy dungeons, as we can.
As a bridge, we're crossing into a military encampment, so as usual, siege weapon.
Alright, I am back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Back. Just in time for siege.
Siege!
Rainbow Six Siege.
All I want to do is siege.
Like that knight's just minding his business. I walk by and whack him with the sword.
Yeah, coming probably.
Oh, that's better for soldier of steel.
Yep.
Ow.
Oh, that was a good portion of your health.
This is a bridge up to another legacy dungeon.
Yep.
But as I said, we're not going to do the legacy dungeons until we get dungeons more exploring. Because there's quite a bit we can do before I can touch the legacy dungeons.
Both legacy dungeons that we've
Been
looked
inside
at so far, yeah, both the legacy dungeons that we've actually looked at are also optional.
Yep.
You can just walk around this one, and the other one is just saying no, you don't have
Yeah,
to.
the other
pay
one's just saying
attention.
that you don't do it at all. This one you can just walk around, and in fact, we will be walking around it to get a weapon before we do it.
I didn't even particularly walk around this one on purpose. I was just
It just
wandering.
happens. When
It's
you're
like,
exploring,
yeah,
it'll happen.
yeah. Oh, okay. That's why there's perfumers here. Yeah, because you got the side of Grace. Did you get the Shadow Tree fragment next to a Statue of America?
No.
Okay, there's a Shadow Tree fragment next to a Statue of America, but also in this area is the most predictable thing you could think of when there's perfumers around. Yep. Open the map. Oh, it's right there. Okay, yeah. Yep.
Spark perfume.
That is a weapon. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. So this is a perfume bottle. There are various perfume bottles with different element types on them.
The different elements use different stats. This one is the base one and uses Dex. They are pure elemental damage and extremely good for fighting slimes.
Oh.
Also do the two.
Yeah. Yeah, they are basically what the perfumers actually do.
Yep.
There's also Ashes of War that are specifically for perfume bottles.
Yes, one of them was incredibly broken for a while.
It's still really good. Yeah, that thing.
It's still really good, but it was absolutely busted for some time.
Just a second. Go back to that statue. I believe the head is off, but the rest of it is intact. So this is an older Statue of America. It is actually different than the ones you will find in the Lands Between. Most notable is that belt with the intertwined spiraling rope hanging down from the middle of it. Basically, when the Hornset said they were betrayed, that's not entirely wrong. The Marika kind of comes from that civilization, sort of. But we'll get into more of that later. Basically, that statue predates America deciding that all the Hornset should be murdered. And a lot of Hornset culture was basically purged from Erdtree culture afterwards. Tis a spear.
Yeah, it's a spear. Ow. Stop that.
Down. We said there were a lot of side battles. We were not kidding.
And with a cow.
Yeah. Drive you bats.
Little great heavy little piece.
Even without shark repellent, he's tougher than me.
Yes, go check out the corpses of your friends. Surely more rocks won't kill you.
It's also my favorite thing about lightning bolts. It's like, oh, where this lightning bolt in? I will aggro on it.
Yeah, that was actually a great thing when we were doing our co-op playthrough. For a while I was using the Ruins Greatsword. And enemies love going where the big, like, gravity blast from the Ruin Greatsword hit. So you can just, like, hit a bunch of enemies with it, kill it, and then everything else in the area goes, hey, what happened over there? To immediately get hit by another big blast of gravity hits from the great sword.
And I was using the Blasphemous Blade in the most balanced manner possible, by having no hit points whatsoever. So the regen doesn't actually matter that much.
Blasphemous Blade is a very good weapon.
Yeah. Even after nerfs, it is a very good weapon.
Yep.
Very warranted nerfs also because they had the number of talisman that increases damage because you know that was fucking necessary. Who's up for a poison swamp?
Oh, well, maybe a little one. As a treat. Because we're worth it.
Behind the wall, kill your kids.
Jesus!
Why are you making me do this crap? Don't you love your family?
I think the answer is no.
You know, the crabs aren't actually that bad. They're not crayfish.
Yeah, no, the crate. This
Lobster
entire land
crayfish
is
things
there.
are nightmares.
Yeah.
This one's not
Ugh.
November.
Okay, yeah. this is just-
Poison's over that way.
Yeah, okay. I know it's around here.
We're near a poison swamp.
There's also that top.
The great ones. We're gonna go first.
Do you want to enter my poison swamp?
Deep purple lily. I believe this is the river. Yeah. There's Spirit Ash. Yeah, honestly, the best way to power yourself up in the DLC is to just wander the fuck around.
Yeah, there's stuff everywhere.
Real quick question. Where would be a good point to call it for the night?
This would actually be a great point to call it. This is the first.
Yep.
Uh,
Just at a grace, this is a good fork in the road as well, because we basically have both where we came from and this way.
yeah, so just an idea of what we'll be doing next time. We've just got that grace. So from here, we can go all the way up this river to this whole area, but not over here, because that's a separate area.
Yeah.
We can go back where we came through, which goes over here through this poison area. We still have this whole rest of this path, where there's some stuff over here. I think it's also where the first forge we'll run into is.
Yes, I believe it was up there.
There's also this little intersection here.
That might also be where the Dragon's Rise is, just to be even weirder.
Dragon's Rise is...
Or Dragon's Pit, rather. Dragon's Pit, yeah, it is up in that area.
Yeah, it's down on one of the paths there. Take us to the Dragon area. We'll fight Sea Bale and friends. There's also a NPC that we need to talk to over here.
Yeah, we need to do something else first before we go fight Bale.
Yeah.
Otherwise we miss out on a summon, and that cannot be.
Correct. As Vince mentioned, there is a poison swamp a little bit further past the cave we went through. As you
I
can
mean,
see,
we
this
literally have it on the map, yeah.
horrible green here.
Yeah.
There is also going to be a spirit spring off of there that'll get us up to, as we were talking about how we can skip this dungeon. That's where we'll end up skipping that dungeon. Granted, we will still do this legacy dungeon, but there's a weapon we can get by getting past it first that we'll mess around with. As So yeah, we have plenty of other areas to do. And technically speaking, so this one is actually optional. We could skip it if we wanted to. Once we're up in this area, we have to be semi-careful about where we go before we do other stuff.
Oh?
That area is fine. It's I'll mention it when we get to it. Basically, we can't go to Shadowkeep proper, like actually inside the Shadowkeep.
We can't go to
Probably
Shadowkeep
just avoid that
proper.
area.
We can't go past.
We can't go past Bonnie Village,
Bonnie
but
Village,
Bonnie Village is kind of an obscure path to get to in the first place.
Okay.
Basically, there's
Like-
an event that will trigger when we go up to a certain point that will basically effectively stop the request. We're not partway through. We haven't done up to the point yet.
Yeah, and there's at the very least one quest that we need to do in order to get a summon.
Yeah. Oh, right, and also from this river, we can go. Just to give you an idea of how big this map and the verticals is. From this river, go down this river.
It goes. Yeah, it does go
It
over
goes
there.
here.
Yeah. There are other ways to effectively you can see the top left of it up there, and actually I don't know if yeah, I think it does go to the hit. I don't remember whether it goes to that one, but I think it does go to the coast.
You can't drop from here to Cerulean Coast. I believe you can drop from.
You could drop.
You can drop from the red area to Cerulean Coast.
Yeah.
You basically over here. You can drop down to this edge of Cerulean Coast.
Yeah. Yeah, the red area absolutely connects to the coast.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to remember whether the river connects to the coast or the red area.
River connects to coast.
Okay.
River will take us to coast. Red
Yeah.
connects to coast.
Yeah. The dragon area.
Dragon area connects to.
It connects to the red area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a ton of side stuff we have available and will be doing before we do the first two legacy dungeons.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we may or may not do Balin before we do the first legacy dungeon. We'll figure it out. There's an abundance to do in this DLC. But as I said, this is a good stopping point to just a new grace. Thank everyone for joining us. We'll be back on Thursday for more Control as we continue dealing with the Heaths. Back on Sunday for more Super Robot Sundays as we continue through SD Gundam
Degeneration Overworld.
Overworld.
Yep.
And back here on Monday for more Adventures in the Lands Between region and Elden Ring. I hope everyone's enjoyed it. I've been Shiv.
I've been the Krampus.
I've been Hunter Green.
And I'm Vincent, and it is time to duel.
No, it is no longer time to duel. That's what led to us being here.
Hopefully I can defeat Vincent and get out of this region. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.